You're live.
We're live?
We're live.
We're live.
Oh my God.
Spooky God. We're fancy here. Welcome, creatures of the night. Welcome to the first ever Zenescope Movie Club.
The volume's so loud.
Who's
sorry, I gotta shut that
the
off.
creep?
So, welcome everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. They're filing in. What's up, everyone?
I can't see
Everyone's
anybody.
filing. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have 30 people come in.
No, we're getting more than that.
Yeah, you got John, we got Mike, we got Robert, Brian, Nico,
Oh,
Chuck.
Ralph, got a little drink? Got a little drink
Cheers.
there, kid?
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's happy hour, dude.
It's happy hour. It's
Let
5
me get a
o'clock.
beer, then.
Get a beer.
So as we wait for people to file in, this is our first ever Zenescope movie night or movie club. So once a month, we're going to be reviewing a bunch of really cool movies. They're going to be horror, B-rated, indie, cult classics, all within that general vein. And we have some amazing guests for tonight. And as always, Team Zen, we come in hard. We got Ralph, we got the big boss Joe. And I guess, Ralph, if you want to give some introductions.
Yeah. Let's
show
bring on
everyone who we have today.
Let's bring on everybody. Let's go ladies first here. So I'll want to introduce Joe Brusha.
Thank you.
You guys know my business partner,
Lady
Joe.
here.
Marilyn.
Hi.
Marilyn Ghigliotti, the best, my friend, and as you know her from CLERKS, the one of the best comedies, cult classic, I'd like to say, but obviously everybody knows Marilyn from CLERKS. She's an actress, producer, director, and also works in the industry as a stylist, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And
Hair and makeup, yes.
Hair and makeup.
You do a
She
lot
does
more
my
than
hair
all
and
of us.
makeup.
And yeah,
Marilyn does my hair and makeup all the time.
haven't seen you in a while though. So yes, whatever you see, I did not do.
You know what? That's mean.
I was going to say.
That was
I gonna
very-
say you're not looking too good.
What
Just
are you trying to
clarifying.
say?
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
I swear to God,
Need a
that
little
was
more makeup. Is what you said.
very hurtful. Okay.
You know I love you. You know I love you.
Let's see. Is Sun ready? Sun's on, but she's not even at her chair, so I don't know what she's doing. Sun.
Hey!
Well, I'm sorry, that was like really bright.
Super bright.
Are we better
Come in
now?
hot, Sun.
Hi.
Hi. Everybody knows Sun Khamunaki, artist extraordinaire, artist cover art for many of our titles. A bunch of great stuff, and we're going to be unveiling a new cover later in the stream that Sun did just for our first ever movie night happy hour. Welcome, Sun.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
to be here.
Sun. Krystle. We have Krystle.
Krystle Starr, what up?
Krystle's been doing a bunch of streams with us. Krystle is a Texas-based cosplayer. She was also recently on Lego Masters, where she was the master of Legos. She is all around awesome person, and she started a company called Nerd Ninja, right, Krystle? If I'm not mistaken, Nerd Ninja.
That's right. We cover all kinds of nerd culture for years and years and years.
Yeah, and we've seen her at a bunch of conventions, and she's done some most recently a Robin Hood cosplay.
That's right. I did it for you guys and
she's been a judge of our recent cosplay contests. And then last but not least, Mr. Brian O'Halloran.
What's up?
Yeah, Brian.
He wasn't
Yeah,
supposed to be here today.
we need to ugly this up some more. So bring me on.
You want it? Yeah, we're outclassed, guys. I hate to say it. Everybody knows Brian from Clerks as well. Marilyn and Brian are the iconic duo we all know and love. They're going to help us break down Creepshow, the movie. So we don't want to get too, far off course. Everybody, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
should be
you.
fun. It's our first ever movie night.
Yes.
Chris, it seems like we got people keeping jumping on, which is cool. But
Yeah, this is awesome.
let's
so
jump. I
thank
say we
everyone
jump
for
right
coming in.
into it.
Are we gonna watch
Yeah.
the movie now?
Yeah, you watch it now.
For those who are tuning in, you were supposed to watch the movie. That was your homework. If you're
What?
if you're tuning in, obviously there's gonna be spoilers. So I'm sorry if you haven't watched it, but you can still hang out with us. So just as a really quick recap, Creepshow was released in 1982. It's a horror comedy anthology film directed by George A. Romero, written by Stephen King. Has a huge cast: Hal Holbrook, Adrian Barbello, Fritz Weaver, Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson, E.G. Marshall, Ed Harris, and a cameo from Stephen King. It consists of 5 short vignettes, the prologue and the epilogue, and the specific stories: Father's Day, the loathsome death of Jordy Verrill, Something to Tide You Over, The Crate, and They're Creeping Up on You. So we talked about this a little bit. So it's gonna be like freeform stream of consciousness type of dialogue. So I just start the conversation off. I have a question. I'm really curious to hear what is everyone's personal history with the film. Was this your first time watching it? Was it like the 20th time watching it? Did you watch it while growing up? So on and so forth. So Brian, how about we start with you?
Okay. So 82, that would have made me 12. I remember when it came out, but I didn't watch it until it came onto cable. When you had to go to someone else's house who was rich, who had cable.
These rich people with the cable.
Where they had this home box office thing. And I watched it there. And all of it was great. I mean, I always enjoy seeing Stephen King in anything. And seeing people like Ed Harris, who was not a huge name back then. I mean, now, over his career, he's done huge stuff. And then Ted Danson. What?
Ted Danson. Handsome fellow, that Ted.
But out of all the stories, the one that really creeped me out the most, pun intended, was They're Creeping Up on You. Because for the first 10 years of my life, I lived in an apartment building in the Bronx with my family, and that shit's real. Like bugs everywhere. To the point when we moved from New York City to New Jersey, we left every bit of furniture. We just took clothes and like knickknacks and memorabilia, but every piece of furniture, including the working TV, we left because we weren't going to bring New York City roaches with us.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Roaches are unstoppable.
Anybody who's ever lived in a New York City apartment knows exactly how I'm preaching.
Yes.
Well, my first LA apartment, you could say the same.
There's roaches out here.
Who else? But I'll go because I agree. That was the.
It's not your turn, sir. Go in order.
Whose turn is it?
Let Chris do what he
can
does.
Now it's my turn. Yeah, I agree because that was the one I used to watch it. I still remember when I was a kid, and that same one used to scare the crap out of me. Just seeing the roaches coming out of his skin at the end, and I remember now rewatching it. So I'm sure we'll get into it, but rewatching it, how I remembered it, because I haven't seen this since I was a little kid. So this is the first time I've rewatched it in since 80, probably early 80s, mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered it a lot differently than it actually happened. So it's kind of funny seeing it now. But I just remember being scared of that particular story because it was on all the time. like when you were a kid, and it was inappropriate for me to be watching.
Plus, out of all the stories, that's the most likely to really happen to you. You know, okay, meteorite that turns you into grass. Okay,
That could
some
Unless you
dude
shit
that
on
wants
your
to.
house. That one
Yes.
I think could
I
definitely
was once
happen.
buried up to my neck in sand. So
Well, yeah, there could be that too.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
did
what
that to
happens
Joe.
when you
He
don't
got
pay your
out.
bills, Joe. You got to pay your bills, Joe. You
Joe,
wind up in the
that's hitting
stand.
you. Great. Krystle, how about you?
So I watched it for the first time in 2000, and I think I was in like 6th grade or so, and I was with my best friend, and it was we watched it at her house, the beginning of it. And then whatever reason we had to stop and finish it at my house. And on her house, she had a much smaller TV. So it was actually like way scarier on the smaller TV. But then we got to my house and we watched on the big screen, and I was like, this is awful. This is the worst movie ever. And then we got to They're Creeping Up on You. And that actually I could not watch. In fact, I just rewatched the whole thing this week, and I still had a really hard time with that. I hate cockroaches so much. So much. And I'm actually from Dallas. At least where I don't have a lot of cockroaches. And I actually went to LA, and a few years ago, I noticed how many cockroaches were in LA. Even downtown, I remember one time we were walking and one like went over my shoe, and I was like, I hate this town. I love LA, but the bugs are so real. And, so yeah, I think that is probably the scariest one for me, because those are real roaches in there. Like,
Fun piece of trivia: there was like some scientific foundation that donated 20,000 cockroaches for the
wow.
production, but overall in that story, they used 250,000 cockroaches. Literally, they spent $125,000 on the cockroaches because each one cost like 50 cents. So that was like the most expensive part of the movie was the cockroaches.
crazy.
With
Wow.
2 cockroach wranglers. Check the credits. There's 2
Oh, really?
people in charge of
What do they
wrangling
do with the
together.
cockroaches afterward?
Don't know. They're expensive.
I wonder if they still have careers.
I'm sure they got to eat, right? Joe, how about you?
So I probably saw it right around when it came out. I don't think I saw it in the theater, but it was probably on HBO. But I was always a really big Stephen King fan. I think I read Cujo when I was like in 5th grade, which I probably should have been reading it. And ever since then, anything Stephen King I would eat up. They went to star in Joe's apartment. That's
True. True.
I can bring on camera in a minute if you want.
There's really a movie about Joe's apartment.
Actually, my best cockroach is Ralph. Pet Ralph.
That's, Chris, you believe he said that?
That's not. But yeah, my favorite story in it is the crate. I kind of like the creature feature type stuff. And I'm also the henpecked husband. I kind of feel like that I fit into that. So when the henpecked husband gets his revenge,
Diane's going around.
But
Save Die.
I've been trying to find a crate.
Where's
to put her in
Diane
for a
when you
while,
need
but
her?
Joe,
with the
please.
monitor, it doesn't work.
Joe, I don't want to have to testify at your future trial. Please don't say stuff like that on the air.
Strike.
You're already in, Brian. It's too late.
It's recorded.
Your Honor, I give you Exhibit A of intent.
Yes. But and then I got my kids all watching it probably. So I've seen it several times over the last couple of years. I mean, over the years. So I'm pretty familiar with it, I guess. And I don't find it as, I mean, it's got some kind of charm to it, I guess, that I like. It's not really, I never really found it too scary, but I love anthologies. So it's probably up there with one of my favorite horror anthologies.
Very cool. Sun, how about you?
Well, I've only seen it twice. I've seen it once a really long time ago, probably around 2000, like you, Krystle, and then just once last night.
Cool.
But I did always remember, and I was like, did I see this movie or did I not? And then I remember the Leslie Nielsen one, and that one stuck with me for years, like not even knowing. that has stuck with me. I think it just focused in on like on the faces, right? So on the emotions, and then I've just always had this fear of drowning, so that's probably it too.
Also, Leslie Nielsen, like I always known him for like the Naked Gun series, but he's really intense and scary in this.
Yeah,
And he's really hot.
yeah.
Leslie Nielsen?
In this
Silver
this
Fox.
movie. Yeah.
I think it's what he's wearing. He's wearing this like décolleté kind of like.
I love his necklace too. I was like, okay.
What about the shower scene? Come on.
I did
The best part.
That was one thing I didn't think I was going to hear. Leslie Nielsen is hot.
I never felt like that in any other
Yeah.
movies that he's ever
Chris
been
has all the Naked Guns on VHS.
So can we get you to do a sexy Leslie Nielsen cover for us?
I could probably do it.
Sexy Nielsen.
Awesome. Great. Well, Marilyn, how about you?
I couldn't remember whether I had ever seen it at all. And it wasn't until the Stephen King that I was like, oh, wait a minute. I remember this. And the one thing that and again, for me as well, the whole cockroach thing, lived it myself as well. But the one thing that I kind of found interesting, it's like, because it's like, as I was watching it and when Father's Day came on and Ed Harris first talked, I was like, oh, that was bad. It's like, I got to see when did how far into his career was this? And so once I started looking up at a lot of them, there were quite a few veterans as well as a lot of newbies, only having done maybe a couple of little guest appearances on different films and TV shows. And Ed Harris, it was only his third, I think, movie or something like that. Wow. So
his dancing was that's him dancing.
I've seen that dance before somewhere, Ralph.
I did it.
Yeah. I mean, and then Ted Danson as well, and Adrienne Barbeau. But yeah, I found that interesting though.
Great. For me, I was a bit of a late bloomer with Creepshow. I think I haven't seen it, or I first saw it like early high school, but I've seen it plenty of times since. It's one of my favorite horror anthologies in general. The last time I saw it, besides last night, was like 2 years ago, because I do a horror podcast on the side. So it was really great to revisit this film. So with that out of the way, so this is like free association. So I know we were gravitating a lot towards the last story, They're Creeping Up on You. Obviously it's very visceral. Like I think everyone at some point in their lives had like a natural fear of bugs. So do you want to? Does anyone want to talk more about that, or do you just want to start at the top?
Start at the top.
Okay, cool. So actually, I'm really excited to talk about the prologue. So in the prologue, there's a young boy named Billy who gets punished by his father, Stan, for reading a horror comic, and at the end, Billy gets his revenge by
really good acting. That whole.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be good acting.
Really?
Come on.
They're all method actors, I heard.
Reminded me of Damien though.
I love Billy. Actually, I didn't know about this until like last night. Billy, that's Joe Hill. That was him acting. So
was it?
No way.
Yeah, that's Stephen King's son.
Who was the father?
Stephen King's son.
I'm sorry?
The father's a pretty big character actor too, right? He plays Billy's father.
Yeah, he was uncredited, but that was Tom Atkins. He was Stan.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so what are thoughts about the prologue and epilogue? Like for me, I love all the transitions into like the animated hokey comic book art. I mean you see that all throughout the film, but that's like the first real instance you see that transition. And but yeah, what is everyone's thoughts on the prologue?
Well, that slap in the face makeup as a makeup artist, I was like, oh Lord, no.
Hey.
I know. It's like Tom Savini. I get it and all that kind of stuff, but that was terrible.
That's right. Tom Savini, the Tom Savini, who also plays the garbage man with the headphones on
Yeah.
at the end. Did
Okay.
all the special effects makeup. I mean, this was a Pittsburgh legendary amalgamation of the great Pittsburgh filmmakers. You got George Romero, you got Tom Savini, Mark Tierno actually was a PA on this and was helping to wrangle the bugs. So the guys that came out of Pittsburgh with this stuff was great.
And I know Tom Savini, he when producing the film, he got in touch with Rob Bottin, like a legend in special effects as well. He Bottin wasn't actually on set, but I know that they traded a lot of shop talk through the phone, and Bottin's just like a legend in like Predator, John Carpenter's The Thing, and other stuff like that.
Well, Tom Savini, I
he
think
may not have been the one that actually did that slap on the face because there were quite a few makeup artists on that.
Correct. He did most of the special.
he also is involved in the TV series.
Right.
Yes, the second one.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
the whole comic book stuff with all the kind of stuff you could buy, because I sent away for a lot of that shit. It was all none of it worked. The voodoo doll
It didn't work.
It didn't work like it worked in the movie.
You just sent away for it
the
too.
monkeys, which were like just stupid bacteria or something. I don't even know, but
Come on, man. There's the granddaddy of all those gifts, the X-ray goggles.
they didn't work.
To get
That was
the
going
X-ray
around with
goggles,
this
we're like, damn it, I don't say nothing. What the hell? $4 down to Dre,
Right.
plus
$4
$2
was a
shipping
lot
and
back then.
handling.
I don't even know how I afforded any of that stuff.
I wanted those X-ray glasses forever.
Everybody did.
Now I know they're a hoax. I'm glad I didn't
It
get
didn't
them.
work.
Nope.
I
Now, if you want to do an X-ray, you got to work for TSA and sit in that tiny little room while everybody holds their hands over their heads. And they go, "Oh, look at that guy, tiny junk." Frank, get a load of this.
Krystle, you're about to say something?
No, I love the comic book aspect of everything. I think that was kind of around the same time that Captain Underpants was a thing, and I was getting really big into Captain Underpants around that time when I watched this for the first time, and kind of what started, it helped with me getting into making my own comics and stuff. So I had a lot of fun with that, and I loved the framing and then like the zooming and going into like I just love that. Not many movies before then had really done that, so that was something that I definitely remembered in my head from back in the day.
Hell yeah. Son, what about you?
Can I talk about the voodoo doll?
Of course you can.
Do you have one?
Like, I really think there's probably an untapped market for that. I think Zenescope should make their own.
There you go, Ralph.
And then you actually have to
Ralph.
cut it out of the
That would be a
comic and like
bestseller.
send it in, and then you get your own Ralph voodoo doll.
Oh,
me-
me?
Yeah, why not?
It's a terrible idea.
It's a great idea.
I think it's
We've already got enough techniques
Look, I
and
mean, this
everything.
is so on brand, and like, Joe, we have to do this. Son pitched it. We have to do this now.
We're trying.
Come on, man.
I have to say I'm very proud of myself for watching this movie because I picked up on my own observation a very special Easter egg in the movie. Does anybody? There's something that appears in every single story.
I didn't pick
Oh,
that.
I didn't pick up on that.
ashtray, right?
The ashtray.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
really?
watched it.
It appears in every single
multiple
shop.
times.
You just picked
The
this
first time I
up?
saw it. Huh?
You picked it up this
Picked it
last
up.
time?
Picked it up.
How the hell did you even think of that?
Very observant. Very, very
He's a
observant.
genius.
Very observant.
Is it a
It only took me
special
about
ashtray?
7 times
I
watching
missed
it.
it.
It's a green
And I
ashtray.
thought I was going to be like the first person whoever figured this out. I was like,
It's
let
the
me go
one
look online.
in the Father's Day. That it's
Yeah,
obvious
the
there.
murder weapon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
She kills
gotcha.
it. What's whatever her name is, kills him with the ashtray in it. But it's in every. It's even in the. I was trying to figure out where they would put it in the creeping up on you one. It's the soap dish.
That could have been a good trivia question.
It
Wow.
could have.
You ruined it.
Nobody would have got it but me.
No, Chris already knew. He said it right away.
I told Chris yesterday. That's the
Well,
only way.
David Ross commented on it.
I
Lies.
told David too. I told David as well.
I told David as
David,
well.
I told
David
everybody.
Ross knew. Yeah, David Ross.
David Ross had a conversation with him yesterday about it.
I know this panel spoilers, but you know, like but you know, now that you know that piece of trivia from Big Joe, you can rewatch the movie and try to find it on your own. So, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
You're right.
The one thing I gotta say though, it's like 2 hours. I was like, I didn't realize it was 2 hours going into it. And at a certain point, I'm halfway in, and I checked, I paused it just to see how long is this.
Yeah, it's not an easy watch.
No.
Well, in watching it with like an editor's eye, the only story that could be trimmed back was obviously the crate. The crate went
that's
a
a long
little
one.
long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get it. He wants to clean up the lab, but we don't have to literally watch him clean up the lab.
Yeah,
Like, it was like, all right, I get it. You know how to work a mop, Hal. We got you. It's good. You're a working man. I got it.
And then they were really ham-fisted on trying to create like the tone of the unhappy marriage, but you could do that in a lot less time. But you know,
yeah, that was
I
drawn
wanted her to
out.
die immediately.
Right? Oh my
I
god.
didn't remember that one from when I first watched it, and then rewatching it this week. As soon as she came on, I was like, "She's got to die. She's got to." Die.
Well, with his fantasy dream sequence of shooting her in the head, I'm like, okay, that's the end of the story. What's the next one?
Right.
I mean, I guess she played her part very well because
She did.
we loved to hate her.
Yes.
Yeah, her makeup was really weird, though. I don't know if you noticed that, but in a lot of scenes, she had so much dark makeup here. It almost looked like she was bruised, and for whatever reason, it really bothered me. I kept watching.
You know, that's something that I did not actually notice, and it was maybe because she was just annoying me so much.
So annoying. But yeah, the dummy in that one as well. I remember like bits and pieces of that as like a kid, but seeing it now on a larger screen, it's just again just so bad.
It's very scary.
So bad.
Very
This
scary.
is a funny comment about Ed Harris dying. Can we talk about that first story real quick?
I thought that same exact thing, and he was like the second guy to bite it.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't understand. He was laying in the grave for like 45 minutes.
It was so annoying.
Watching the tombstone slowly approach the edge.
Have you ever laid in a grave?
No, I haven't.
Right. So don't.
I
judge.
guess I can't.
I'm
see.
assuming that he was afraid to move because it's like every time he kind of tried to get out, it would move a little bit.
I
So it's like,
guess.
Gotta go.
I don't know.
I don't
Personally,
know.
It's like I would have just
He
kind of rolled
really-
out of there.
I think he thought he was getting a second base with Aunt Bedelia. That's
Yeah.
just my observation.
Personally, why even go in there?
I feel bad that he died. He really didn't do anything wrong except that.
He was like, "Oh, Aunt Bedelia, what's up? Oh, excuse me, Aunt Bedelia."
Does anyone know her age, by the way, when they filmed that? Because she looks so young, and she was playing like such an older.
yeah. Aunt
So-
Bedelia, she was played by Vivica Lanfers. I don't have an age for Vivica. At this
No,
37.5
and
years old.
On IMDb, it is a black and white photo that's on there, and yeah, so she was
she's from that era of classic black and white film actresses. So.
born in the 1920s. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She
Wow.
might have.
So
been
she was in her
older.
60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she looked. I thought she looked good.
she did.
Until she died.
Yeah.
Thus, the reason Ed Harris wasn't jumping out of that grave too quick. You're looking good, Aunt Bedelia. I don't care if you're dead.
Ed Harris wanted cake as well, you know.
To me though, it's like okay. I mean, and it's I guess it is part of the story in a way, but it's like, why does he come to life? Why does he dig himself out of the grave just because he wants his cake?
I want my goddamn cake.
He wants to see.
My Father's Day cake. Yeah.
So what I was thinking. So one of the original questions Ralph and I were pitching was like, what are the general themes of any story of the entire movie? So for me, the movie's all about like actions have consequences. You see all these horrible people doing horrible things or just being generally mean-spirited, and they get punished through supernatural cosmic means. So for what's it called? For Father's Day, like Bedelia, you know, she killed her father out of, you know, obviously like through the heat of passion, through years of abuse, and obviously like she could be justified in that, and that's
And
What about
revenge,
the farm
'cause
boy?
her father blasted her husband or whatever it was.
exactly that's right. Yeah. So like she's guilty of wrath,
Kind of like a
and
justified killing in my mind.
but and
Just
so
say-
far, I'm sorry.
Justified what, Joe?
Killing,
Oh.
like the murder. Like, remember when I
Yeah.
tried to kill you that one time?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Once again,
There's a lot of
another
people-
try.
It's being recorded, Joe.
I know, but you're still alive. I didn't succeed. It was only attempted murder, and there's a statute of limitation on that.
But Marilyn, to your point, why like the corpse rose from the grave? I think in like Gaelic, whiskey translates to water of life, and when the whiskey fell, it like went into the grave, and he rose out of the grave, and then he wants cake. So.
Funny,
Now
'cause
that
when I
makes
drink whiskey,
sense.
I pass out.
They cleared it up.
Yeah.
Don't be pinning this on the Irish.
But yeah, like, what was Father's Day anyone's favorite story? Like for me,
Ralph doesn't like Father's
What's
Day.
Death of Jordy Verrill's my favorite, but
Yeah, I didn't know what I was watching, to be honest with you. Like, man, Ed Harris is doing that weird dance. I don't even know what the hell was going on.
there's
So
so
really
much.
hung up on that dance.
It was a bad dance, but like, yeah, I don't know. Somebody else can chime in. Wasn't my.
I think this was a bad attempt. I think this was a bad attempt in the 80s for Betty Crocker to do a Halloween themed commercial.
Yeah.
That their cake is so good, we'd want to rise from the dead to eat it.
And it happens to have a head on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But someone
actually-
took that pitch idea and went way over.
I've eaten a lot of cake over the years since seeing that movie, so maybe look. That
Oh.
Yeah.
was delicious.
Spoiler
That
alert.
beautiful cake.
This still is scarier than the actual movie.
But I still want to go to one of those Spirits Hollywood stores to find one of those mannequin type things exactly like that. I see a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas Jack, tall mannequins. That would be a good one to have.
I literally have one that looks almost identical to that on the front yard. Yeah.
Good, you have to go get it, Krystle.
Are there candles on the cake?
There's no cake.
Damn it. See, that could be an Easter egg for kids for extra candy. Why is he holding a head with candles on it? And I'm like, I don't know, because you're weird. Give me the candy.
Oh, there's no trick or treating this year, so that's there's that.
What do you mean?
I
What are you
hope
talking about?
I'm going out.
Joe goes out
T-shirt.
every year. He never misses a year to go.
You get a T-shirt cannon, fill it with candy, and boom! Run, you little bastards, run!
Well, speaking of trick-or-treating candy, I want to give a shout out to some of our super fans, Mike and Trish. They mailed us glow-in-the-dark chocolate. So here, trick-or-treat, everyone. Have some candy.
Chris, we can't get it.
You should have warned us ahead of time, and we could have faked it.
Chris, this is not really helpful.
I tried to tell you yesterday that wasn't going to work.
No.
It
It just means you're going to eat the candy, Chris. That's all.
going to work.
What story? I'm just curious. What was everybody's favorite story? I know Brian and Brian said the bug one. I forget the name of it.
I mean, that's the most out of all of them. Like
Yeah.
that's the one that really
Lonesome Death of
creeps me
Jordy
out.
Verrill, which is probably my least favorite. So
Which
why do
one?
you like that one, Chris?
Oh, what do I
Immediate
like?
one.
So I love the Lois and Death of Jordi Verrill. It's the one where Stephen King stars. I love it because Stephen King's acting is so over the top. Like
So it's bad.
It's
it's
terrible.
I have a very low bar for entertainment. And also it's the movie or the story and the novella it's based on called Weeds. It's inspired by Lovecraft. It's basically loosely adapted from Color Out of Space. That's one of my favorite Lovecraft stories ever. And yeah, I know I just love Stephen King's emoting, like all the weird faces he does, and I don't know, it just makes me laugh all the time. So that's why it's my favorite.
I think the word you're looking for, sir, is melodrama.
Yes,
Very melodramatic.
indeed.
Yeah.
And very over imaginative. I love like his fugue states where he's just imagining about like going to the Department of Meteors. So
Could you imagine where he would have gone if he didn't get hit by a van on some lonely road up in Maine? He would have been an Oscar winner by then.
He would have been, yeah. He would have been something.
Instead, he wrote an Oscar-winning movie instead called Misery about him getting hit by a van on a lonely road.
Right. True.
For me, the something that tied you over with Leslie Nielsen. For me, I don't know, that was the one that had the better acting overall.
Oh yeah, by far that was the best actor.
Yeah.
Ted Danson.
And young strapping Danson.
Hot Leslie Nielsen.
Didn't need to be strapping Danson.
Leslie Nielsen.
This is it. This is all he needed. He just needed dancing head. That's all
Dancing
he
head.
needed.
Dancing.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite, I guess.
I think that's probably like the most realistic one. So I enjoyed that one the most as an actual viewer watching something. I was like, "Ooh, this is actually really compelling for me." And I feel like that is one of the ones that really held up over time until, of course, the end when they come in with like covered in a ridiculous amount of seaweed and just really awful makeup. But before that, I felt like that if that were a movie, I wanted to watch that as a full length film. But the one with Stephen King, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed really hard. It was so bad that I was just like, oh my god! Like, and I jumped at the end when he shoots and it explodes. Like I jumped. That literally.
You thought
by myself at home, you guys. Like it was scary.
that's funny.
It was like shocking, but yeah.
It's funny when they came in with the seaweed and everything all over them, I couldn't help but think of the beginning of Scooby-Doo when there's the one part during the beginning sequence of Scooby-Dooby-Doo, they're being chased by some seaweed monster.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. I was just like, it's the seaweed monster from Scooby-Doo.
It is.
Wonder which one came first. Scooby-Doo, right?
Oh, totally
Yes.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah.
The 60s.
And he would have gotten away for it if it wasn't you meddling kids.
That was pretty good, Brian.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shaggy.
Sam, what was your favorite? Oh yes.
Oh, it was definitely the Leslie Nielsen one. But my favorite part of the entire thing was when Stephen King looks down at his groin and goes, "Oh no, not there." Yeah,
That would be a disgusting.
I can only imagine.
There was some overtones of anti-masturbation kind of talk.
On your
I
hand.
got this weirdness kind of like,
Didn't work. For me.
where then he came with a priest, and I'm like, what are they trying to say here?
Right. That's true.
Because the old wives' tale of stuff growing on. Never mind.
Yeah, no, continue, Brian. We want to hear.
If you touch things too much.
Oh,
Marilyn, how about you?
Well, I said the something to tide you over.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed the most real, aside from they're creeping up on you as well. I mean, not that was a favorite, but those are the two that I think have a little bit more realism to that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than them coming back from the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To kill
I
him.
mean, in reality, that's a standard in movies, so we can
Yeah.
give him a pass.
It is interesting to watch this anthology and then see how Joe and I have published with our Grim Tales of Terror and even the early Grim Fairy Tales comics that we write, like how much influence we probably took from movies like Creepshow.
Oh yeah,
Just like
everything is.
morality tales. Like if you read our Tales of Terror, it's very similar in that it's somebody's a piece of shit human. They're a piece of shit person, and they get what's coming to them. Right.
Now, if only it were really like that in real life.
Karma.
What was
Chris, who are we
everybody's
gonna?
favorite?
What's that?
What was everybody's least favorite? I'm just kind of curious.
How can I? Let's see.
He's like the whole 2 hours.
No. Go ahead. Who wants to start?
Well, I noticed that throughout this entire conversation, we haven't mentioned once the crate. Is that because it was not as memorable?
Joe likes the crate. Joe said it was his favorite.
Oh, okay.
I do think it was long, but I like the monster aspects of it. I like monsters.
You like monsters? He does like monsters. The crate might have been my least favorite just because it was so freaking long.
You're not very smart.
Yeah, it was.
Not very smart.
My mind though, it's like I start to I start to get logical on things.
Yeah, you can't think about it logically.
I know.
Creeping under the steps and this thing's still alive, right? Like,
right. Hasn't eaten anything.
Right.
What's really interesting is both this movie and The Thing came out the same year. So if you want to talk about The Creature in a Crate and The Thing, it's very close. And Adrienne Barbeau was married to Carpenter when both came out. So I don't know if one bled into the other, but it was an interesting kind of weirdness to it that I was like, I liked it the other time I watched it, called The Thing.
Yeah,
Thing is awesome. There was like a
because remember remember the crate says it's from the Antarctica expedition.
Right.
Oh my god, that's a really cool piece of trivia. Thank you. Like that's actually really cool.
Well, you know, at a certain point, I was wondering whether the one who played who was cleaning up,
Don Kiefer as Mike the janitor.
Yeah, no, the husband, Hal. Yes, sorry. I tended to wonder if he kind of knew about it though, at a certain point, because it's like even though he had the story told to him by the professor, that it's like almost immediately he was just like, okay, let me go check this out. But I don't know. There was a moment, and I can't remember exactly when. It's like that. I just was wondering, did he know about that?
Well, you know, it's like whenever you see a house on fire and you want to get rid of a body, you go, ooh, now's the perfect time for me to get rid of that.
Right.
Or 4th of July, good time to shoot someone because they'll just think it's fireworks.
Right.
From what I've heard.
So Ryan and Joe are admitting to a lot of murders tonight.
Give me a lot of good ideas.
A lot of just saying.
For real. I think my least favorite was probably the crate as well. I love the part with the wife, and I was so happy when she got eaten, but it did go on. My ADD kicked in, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it just dragged. It wasn't bad. It just dragged. I mean, it's actually not. The story itself could have been fine. I think.
Actually, I think Father's Day might have been even worse. Now that
Father's Day was probably.
It was so bad.
That was
so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's that level of campy. They're going for that, but like, it just comes off as goofy now because. I guess I don't know. It's just dated. Do
you guys think that the movie still kind of holds up? Like
that was our question. That's our final.
Not for me.
It probably scared me a lot more when I was 12 and saw it, for the first time. But I never thought it. Again, I think it has a certain charm that I like, but it's not really. it's fun. It's a fun
It's
movie to watch.
different if you watched it. If you're watching that movie several times throughout your life, you're going to see it differently than if you never saw it before.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, if you watch it today and you never saw it before, you're probably
you're just like, what is this? And I hadn't seen it since I was probably like 8 years old or 9 years old or something, and like it's like watching it brand new, pretty much.
That's how I felt. Like I really didn't remember a lot of it, but then Stephen King's part came on, and the acting was just such a level of awful that that was like branded into my brain.
Yeah, like how much of that is he doing on purpose? Maybe he's playing it like that. Like it's.
Oh, he's definitely. I'm hoping that he's doing that on purpose.
But it's like so bad that I'm like, it's still. I don't know.
I will never forget the fact that Stephen King was so awful. That's what really burned into my brain as a child.
Burned into my head.
I have nightmares of Stephen King, all in green.
I could read every one of his books, not a problem, won't be scared. But that acting, oh my God, why? Why?
No, that whole thing though with the meteorite and him putting his fingers in his mouth, that's like, wait, no, I do remember this.
Well, no, now in today's modern day world, like, don't touch your face. What are you looking your finger for?
What is he doing? What are you so stupid?
I mean, in a weird way, that little story on its own played out to people like, you want to see what a virus could do and how fast it could spread? Watch this really horribly acted by Stephen King movie. It's really campy, but the message is wash your hands, don't touch your face, and wear a mask. Enjoy.
I'm doing that later today on my Instagram stories.
There you go.
Thanks.
Stephen knew about this back in '82.
Okay, I thought so
Was
too.
that a
Sounded like
Trump
Trump. I was like, keep it coming. Keep it coming. It was a pretty good Trump. It was a pretty good Trump.
No, if I was going to do Trump, I have to use my hands. See, I don't take responsibility, but I take responsibility for all the good stuff. Bad stuff, no. Good stuff's yes. Vote for me, please. I am not spreading about. My own wife doesn't even hold my hand, so obviously I didn't spread it to her. So,
oh my God.
I could watch that the rest of the time. Being honest. No, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, like the Creepshow has it's still a cult classic. It's still really impactful, and it inspired like this huge franchise. Like even like earlier today, Shudder announced that they're releasing a animated Creepshow special that's going on.
Ooh.
On the 29th. And then there's a season 2 in works for that new TV show. And I remember correctly, I think they're going to do a Creepshow themed amusement attraction at the Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. Okay. So obviously this movie and this franchise still resonates with so many people.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We have a soundtrack question. So what did everybody think of the music? The soundtrack.
Honestly, didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, I didn't think of it.
It was
really think of it.
John Harrison did the music for it.
I really liked all the music except for the bug ones. They're creeping up on you. I did not like the sound effects for that one at all, but I felt like the sound effects for the other ones were really, especially for the time, like they're like the perfect amount of campy for me. But most of the sound effects from the creeping up on you I didn't like, but I also just really didn't like that one in general because of like I just hate cockroaches.
I love 80s horror music in general. 80s, like anything 80s sounding that has to do with horror.
It's a specific tone to it that you know it.
Stranger Things actually did a great job of recreating it with yeah, and this had the same kind of that synthesizer vibe of like that I always love that.
Harrison was he's a longtime collaborator with George Romero and all of for me, like it was during the High Tide story. There's this one like really striking series of chords where like it's like a blaring synths, and each time the synth blared, it cut to a different part of Leslie Nielsen's room. And that just stuck with me for some reason. And it was like oh, the music was the star in that short amount of like 30 seconds. So I really enjoyed the score here.
Yeah.
I love the house that he was in for that one as well. Sorry.
His own private beach. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will say though, it's like when I went to watch it, I was like, oh yeah, this is what they used to look like movies.
Yeah.
There's just such an aesthetic to it.
You know what I did like, speaking of aesthetic? I want that peephole in my door. That peephole from They Creep Up on You. It was such a great visual, like for film, like a film noir kind of mechanic to it. But I did like this huge giant,
And you have to talk to people like that. When somebody's on the other side, that's how you have to talk to them.
just stick your mouth like, and another thing I want to talk about.
I think we should do. Yeah, you should do.
Well, I'm lucky if I can reach peepholes.
I think we just lost 20 viewers.
How tall are you? 5'3"?
No, I wish.
I wish.
I'm just barely 5 foot.
You know, I was shocked to hear the racial slur though, kind of in that one. I don't know if you guys caught that one.
The people of color?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he said? People of color?
Well,
yeah, he says, you people of color.
Well, I think he said something like, you'll do well being a person of color or something.
Being a person of color, right.
Yeah. And I was just like, oversensitized right now, especially from the times. And so I was just like, whoa, but was there any other stuff that in the entire film that you think would be like, would not happen in a movie today? Not just the makeup and the cheesy camping.
Oh, I don't know. Being happy to murder your wife? Violence against women?
Yeah, it's like
shooting your wife in the head in your imagination. I'm trying to think. That's a good question.
I think that was the most that was the most shocking thing when I was rewatched. I legit did not remember that happening. Like, I don't know why I didn't notice until like yesterday. That was the most problematic thing that I observed.
Stereotypical. If you've drowned, you have to come back wearing seaweed. Come on.
Yeah, it's a little bit
so stereotyped.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Because you don't have to wear seaweed.
You never come back with seaweed. That's
Well, the fact that they even looked at that the way they did, I mean, because obviously it was overnight, or not even overnight.
Yes,
it was like a couple hours
really
later.
bothead me.
Right,
as well.
exactly.
It was that night.
Get Tom Savini on the phone right now. Get Tom.
Get it out here.
Well, that's actually on the director who probably wanted it that way. So not even on Tom Savini.
This is true, Rob. Ed Harris dancing would not be allowed today. I second that. That fucking dancing was horrendous.
I don't know. I saw a dance not that long ago, maybe 2 days ago, at some sort of rally by some sort of leader of a country. Very Ed Harris-like. It was very. Just saying.
One of these.
I can't remember where I saw it, but
yeah, it's true. Good point, Brian. Jack, that's probably Joe's house. Yeah.
What's that?
Dishes. Is that you? Dishes moving around in the kitchen?
They getting dinner ready, Joe? What time's dinner? What time are we coming over?
I gotta eat.
She don't care. This is what happens. This is why I like the crate. Because you're on camera, your wife doesn't. She don't care. She's got a knife in her arm right now.
So Joe's envisioning shooting his wife.
Right.
Something else to remember. Poor Di.
The dog was barking. It's. I was gonna come to the office, but everybody told me they'd be quiet. Nope. They're working home, she said.
Thank you,
so
Chuck.
I am in the kitchen, Chuck. Yes.
So I have a question for Marilyn in particular. So I mean, you're very accomplished in as a makeup artist and stylist, and like what practical effects or special effects most impressed you?
What was it? Wait, there was some part of that was missed.
What was the makeup or the practical effects or special effects that impressed you the most? And same for everyone else.
Oh, on this?
Good question.
Marilyn's
unimpressed. Tom Savini is poor guy.
What
man.
about the? It must have been a pain in the ass to do the Jordy Verrill. All that green stuff everywhere.
The what?
What was that?
Effects with the makeup. The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. All the green crap on him and everywhere on the set. The green grass.
Applying all that green fuzz on an actor.
Actually, yeah. You know what? I would have to say that would probably be the most.
There you go.
Because it's
it was everywhere.
It's something that they're kind of having to what's the word? Add on, apply. Well, they're it's growing, as far as like that. So
did this impress you?
That is awesome.
I don't know, man. Getting all the bugs to come out of E.G. Marshall like that.
I think that was
the most I thought cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like they all have their little moments. As cheesy as some of it may have been, it's still impressive to do because I'm not a special effects kind of person. I mean, I do some small little quickie easy things, but I don't go all out with the special effects. So I mean, it's all impressive.
Yeah, for me, like the cockroach exploding out of the corpse, out of the head, it's just pure delight. I love that.
Yeah, so I work in the special effects department, and for movies and film, and I mean for TV and film, sorry. And I have to keep in mind the year, of course,
right?
But the year is a big thing. But I just worked on Lovecraft Country, and did a lot of the special effects on some of the bodies. And I will say that before we do the VFX, they don't look that like they look pretty. I mean they're better, but it for the time and for the campiness, I thought it was fun. And again, I have to remind myself that TV was just so much different back then.
Right.
Like, all of us now have these giant TVs in our house, and in what 1982 is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
The TVs just weren't any.
They were more forgiving.
25 inches was a luxury back then.
Yeah.
If you had 25-inch TV, you were
Sony Trinitron 25-inch
Here's
TV. You were like, yeah, it's my dad. What's up?
There you go. There's some throwback. There's the monster.
Yeah, the monster is fully animatronic for the crate, which is pretty cool.
You can even tell though that looks really great in that photo and all that.
Yeah, looks better there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So does Ted. Ted looks better there.
Ted looks pretty. Krystle, do you think he looks attractive?
Nope. No.
Just checking.
No.
Just making sure.
But yeah, I do want to rewatch that is for that one just to see if they did have any time lapse. Like maybe it was more than a day, but I think it was the same day.
It was the same day, same night.
Yeah.
Because he went back to check to see if they were on the beach at all. And then that's when he realizes, like, oh no, they were washed out to shore. That bucket, though, I thought there would be more to that bucket, and I thought it was bigger than it was.
What was his plan with it anyway? Like, he was eyeing it, but what was the plan? Like,
I know, right? It's like, I don't like. Okay, is that all that the bucket? It's like he's holding it. That's it.
I really thought that she would have been like that was her marker, But then the fact that they kind of died at the same time, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. We have a fan question. What was our favorite moment in Creepshow? I know Sun answered this. Our favorite moment. Does anybody else have a favorite moment? My favorite moment
When it was over,
yeah, the end credits.
it was too long.
No, that's terrible.
I have a favorite moment, and it's actually from my least favorite one, surprisingly. But the one that I think I giggled the most at was in I have it called Bananas. This one goes bananas, but the creature one. What was the name of that one?
The crate.
The crate.
The
Thank
crate?
you.
Yeah.
When he says,
He's nicknamed Fluffy, actually.
when he says, they'll think you're off on a hell of a toot. I
Right.
was like,
That you're high.
yeah, I have never ever heard that, and he says it twice.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, that is such a bizarre saying.
Yeah, all of a sudden the film went back like 60 years. Oh, good sir, you should behave. They'll think you're on quite a toot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a toot.
Has anyone else heard that phrase ever before in any other?
No.
I use toot in a different way.
True. When you have the magical fruit.
It's tooting.
What is it?
The verb.
Use it in a sentence.
Use it in a sentence, son.
I won't.
It's fun.
May I have the country of origin?
The country of origin of toot?
No, I'm joking. When he was like, use it in a sentence, all of a sudden it was the script spelling bee. And I have the. That was that's for my spelling bee nerds. Yo, what up?
Spelling bee. I used to do well in the spelling bees, by the way. Now I can't spell anymore.
You used to do what? You used to do well in spelling bees?
Yeah, I used to kill it in the spelling bee.
When you were 7 and you had to spell dog.
No, I was not when I was 7. Up to like age 12.
Did well at those spelling bees at that age.
Excuse me? You never did well.
I can never spell.
You can't spell now. My favorite part was when the tombstone fell on Ed Harris. And I was hoping it would fall on my head as well. And end my misery of watching that movie.
Is that when you texted me that you were watching it?
Yeah. I was like, this is terrible.
He literally was like, this is awful. I'm really sorry. I was like, oh God. Yay.
I shouldn't say that. It wasn't the worst movie I've seen.
But it
was good when I was 8. It was great. It was very scary. Anyone else? Any other questions?
I think we had another question.
Your favorite actor? There's no same person asked this.
Mine would be Stephen King again. That was just
Stephen
so
King.
Your
bad.
favorite actor?
Yours was Leslie Nielsen.
Okay, well I have to.
I loved what E.G. Marshall did personally. As an actor.
He played Upson
Yeah,
Pratt.
he was good.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I feel like Ted Danson was the best. I like seeing a good dancing. You can't go wrong with a good dancing.
You could. I feel like they definitely did.
Yeah, for me it was Leslie, Ted, and DG.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Adrian was incredibly effective because we just all hated her. So technically, she was really effective at the role she was
guess,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's she did what she was supposed to do.
And what other works was she in? Was she
Swamp Thing was a big one for her.
Swamp Thing.
Escape from New York.
She was
Escape from New York, the best.
She was in The Fog.
She's the voice of the robot, and
she's also coming. She's joining us for an interview soon. So, when she gets back from New Zealand.
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she kind of she was the one I remember kind of most, other than Stephen King's part. I think just because it was so Yeah.
Grading.
Yeah. Do you guys know anyone like that in real life? Have you ever met anyone like that in real life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Joe.
Marilyn? That's rude, Joe.
Me?
Marilyn didn't do anything to you.
I'm sorry.
Very
I met
sweet
you a
woman.
couple times, Joe, at a convention, but I never bothered you.
Yeah, she was very nice. You got well. She did come to our party that one year, Joe, and she was very ornery.
On the rooftop. I remember that.
Remember that? Oh yeah.
You were giving me the signal like, could you
I know.
Get her out.
she's bumming her high.
Dude, she was so drunk. She was hammered. We couldn't get her.
No, see, that's what you don't remember.
Yeah.
She doesn't drink. That's why she was bumming everyone's high.
You're bringing us all
She
down.
doesn't drink.
Boring. It was
I
terrible.
think everybody who's like that was probably murdered by a beast or shot in the head. So,
Who?
like Adrian
Like
Barbeau
Adrian?
in the movie. She said, "Is there anybody like that gets killed, murdered?"
By monster.
I don't know. I kind of see these people complaining about having to wear masks sounding a little bit like her.
True.
What? You want me to wear a mask? What the hell? I don't want to wear a mask. How about that?
Maybe she was the first Karen then on character-wise.
Yeah, you might be onto something.
First Karen. Adrian was the first Karen. That's true. Good observation, man.
The character.
Yeah.
So jumping off of that, it kind of relates to a question we got from Robert. So if the movie was remade today, like 2020, or maybe the movie takes place this year, which story would you want to be cast in?
Ooh.
I would want to be the dad from the prequel story, or whatever, that's yelling at his kid.
Stan?
Yeah.
Wait.
Smacks his kid. Doesn't he backhand him? Like,
He hits him.
And behind the scenes, there's like a quick cut. You have to like slow it down to see it. Joe Hill as Billy, he slaps himself because Stephen King was really worried about like
guy
Tom
smacking
Hanks.
his kid.
And don't they have like the marks on his face, like here?
Yeah, the marks were on his face.
They're like here, even though he slapped him like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious!
I would come back. I would want to play Ed Harris.
You want to dance?
There aren't very many like great women roles in any of these, though.
Really?
No. It's today. We can do any gender, any way. Remember, it's today casting department.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's
like,
true.
I don't know why no one hasn't jumped on the fact that how would you not want to jump on the Stephen King role to elevate it even better? I mean, come on.
I probably could do that very well.
Yes.
I'm not.
I smell a cosplay costume being sewn. You better start getting a lot of green felty fuzziness.
There wasn't a lot of great female roles.
No, Adrian had like the best. I mean, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, but and all she did was play like the naggy, mean wife, right?
Yeah.
And then the other girl got buried in the sand.
Right. Although she didn't really have any lines.
She didn't have any lines. Yeah.
No, not really.
No.
Just like, get me out or whatever, or Harry.
Right.
I
mean, I guess the first story, there was a couple.
And you know, as much as I hate roaches, it's like I would probably take on that role then.
You would hate that.
I would hate it, but that's how believable it would be.
I could not do that. Like there's no way I could do that.
It reminds me of that scene from the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Remember that when she reaches through the thing and all the bugs are and that was a real.
Yep.
Wasn't that real?
Yep, it was.
I think so.
So, fun fact with bugs, real quick. I am starting a compost pile because 2020, I'm trying to do gardening and all that fun stuff. And I opened the lid to my compost pile this morning to scare my friends because they were like a few larva type things. They're not maggots. They're called, I can't remember. It's like a type of fly, but that's really good for your compost pile. But long story short, I opened it and there must have been like 100 swarming in there. So I think I'm done with composting. I literally earlier today, like right before you called, Ralph. So I don't even.
Who would think though
maggots?
decaying food would attract bugs? It's so weird.
Yeah.
Man.
Not the amount of bugs. Like if
You must have
very
some
unsettling.
choice cuts. Would you
So,
have in there? Steaks? Would you have?
Yeah.
Is the word maggots what you wanted to use? Is that the word that you want? Maggots?
maggots?
No,
No?
they're
Oh.
I'm itching now from like remembering what they
What? All right. So, what's everybody's final score?
Final score out of how much?
Final rating. What's your final rating?
Out of 5 stars. Let's go with
Out of
that.
5
Out
stars.
of 5?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
rating in today's time or are we
Or
rating
should-
1982?
We can do or you can do we can do a Rotten Tomatoes percentage if you want.
No, go 5. I don't know.
Okay,
Five.
5 star.
I don't have the
5
brain.
stars. Let's start with Sun. What's your final rating of Creepshow original?
Well, it's not great, so I don't even think it makes it halfway. I'm gonna go with a 2 because Tom Savini was there and he saved the day because he's a freaking legend. So yeah, a 2.
2, solid 2.
Sorry, Creepshow. Love
I
you,
got
love
this.
horror, but
Sun goes
Sun's
2.
coming in hot. My gosh.
Crystal, what about you?
Oh, I'm gonna have to agree with Sun. I'm probably also gonna give it a 2. It was fun for nostalgia, but if I were gonna have a movie night, like I normally have, sci-fi movie nights held at the house, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3.
That's a big difference.
Because I might actually show this at a horror movie because we love campy. We love it. So yeah, it's I give it 3.
3.
For the campy.
Brian?
Oh, this is a solid 3.5, easily. I mean, you got, first of all, it's a Romero picture. Secondly, you got Stephen King who wrote it. And thirdly, you have Tom Savini on there as special effects. Hal Holbrook, Ted Danson. It's a classic. This is a cult classic. Anything below 3.5 is a high insult.
Sorry.
Agree.
Yes,
Agree
Brian.
100%.
Marilyn, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm giving it a 3 because of Romero, Stephen King, but because of some good acting that was on there, and just the fact that there were some really great veterans on there. That they kind of, I think, held up the newbies.
So
but Ted Danson being one of the newbies on there, he actually was pretty good. So
you said 3 or 3.5?
3.
3. Okay. Joe?
I'm going 4. Because of pure entertainment value.
4.
So
you have it up there with like Schindler's List and
yeah. The Schindler's List, you give a little 4.5, 4 3/4 stars. On pure entertainment, I mean, it's not. It's. I won't turn it off if it's on. I'm entertained by it. I love the actors. I love the stories. It's a little long. I agree with that, but no, I love these kind of movies. 4. It doesn't have any mafia in it, Ralph. So you're gonna probably go 1. It's got no mobsters, right? It doesn't have.
I'm sorry. It doesn't have
I don't know, man. Being buried up to your neck in sand is kind of gangster, if you ask me.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That actually saved it for me. I'm gonna go solid. See, you can't. I'm not grading on a curve because it's, it is.
Listen, we don't want to hear all your shit. Just say it.
I just had to hear your shit.
Give the number.
You gave it a 4, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous score. It's a solid 2. I'm gonna stick with solid.
Wow.
It could have been a 1 if I didn't feel so bad.
Wow.
That's the
We
final.
always knew you had no taste. Now it's
Off of
proven.
2 is ridiculous. Chris?
I think 2 is a crime. So I'm out here for Romero and Stephen King. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because
Wow.
I know
Okay, Chris.
this movie This movie knows exactly what it is. It's a horror comedy. It is full of camp and schlock, and the team and the production and the actors were on all cylinders. I will say, like some like especially the crate, like the movie's a little bit long in some places. They could have tightened it up, but all in all, it's like for just pure thrill and fun. Like it has that in spades. So
All right,
Perfect.
All right, well,
Perfect
there you have
analogy, Chris.
There you have it. We don't all see eye to eye, and that's what this is all about, guys. Does anybody have to jump off? We're gonna show.
Out.
You're out.
I'm out. I'm gonna go watch Creepshow.
Go eat.
Hey.
Go eat.
I'm gonna
Go watch Creepshow and eat your dinner.
See how he appeals to me now.
Thank you, Joe, for
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
See you guys later. Bye.
We're going to show a Sun's cover. We are going to be unveiling Sun's awesome artwork. Sun is right here. If you don't know who she is. Sun would stay on you just the whole time now. Just kidding. I won't do that to you. We're gonna unveil your cover right now. So for those who don't know, it's getting dark in here. For those who don't know, we are doing this monthly. Okay, so Sun's gonna be doing a new homage cover every month. Tonight you're able to subscribe to get the showcase edition of this cover. If you subscribe, it's a monthly fee. You'll get it sent to you every month, the new cover, and as well as a print. Chris, tell me if I'm wrong. You get the print,
you got
showcase edition, which is limited to 100. So subscribe. You can cancel anytime. You don't have to keep the subscription live. We will be putting on the non-showcase editions will be going on sale tomorrow. So if you don't want to subscribe and get the showcase edition, you can do your non-showcase starting tomorrow. But to get the showcase edition, you do have to subscribe sooner the better because these will go quickly. Are you guys ready for the unveiling of Sun's Creepshow homage cover? Let me show you the original movie poster. Okay. You guys all see this, the original. And now, without further ado, the Sun Khamunaki. Why is she so shocked? All right, ready? Boom! There it is.
Wow.
That's much better.
Not creepy at all.
Who wore it better?
Oh, I love this.
And we got them in house. Look,
Chris has him in the house. This is the first of 12 Sun Khamunaki homage covers. That's our character, Carries, who appears in all of our Grim Tales of Terror titles, and Carries is playing the part of the creep. And we also have this version, which will go on sale tomorrow. We can't really... It's B-rated.
Yeah.
So,
the green screen.
Right through you.
So you can get that. Chris, do you have the link for them?
Yeah, I just posted the links in the comment section. So I'm gonna pull up the banner right here. If you check in this chat, I'll post this one more time. But this actually went live about 20 minutes ago, so it's live on the web store right now. If you check your email, everyone should have gotten an email about it if you're subscribed to the Zenescope newsletter. So go get the subscriptions. So again, like Ralph said, the subscription that goes live tonight is a showcase edition of this book. It's limited to 100 print run, and there's also a 100 print run art print as well. And it's $50 for the domestic, or $55 for the international. And it's a recurring subscription, a showcase once every month for amazing covers by the super talented Sun Khamunaki.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Sun, is there anything you want to walk us through on the cover? I wanted to kind of give you time to talk about it, but I know you're probably a little too modest, but we wanted to, I know how you are.
Yeah, I know. You know what? It was challenging. It's always a challenge, but I do love doing the homage like cosplay covers. They're a lot of fun to try and figure out. But the original, like I try to keep it as close as possible to the original, but the character is so different, you know. So I try to go with the same colors, and I try to go with the same type of lighting. But of course, it has to be printed, so it has to look nice. So I try to kind of keep everything. I try to think of everything all at once when I design something like this.
Yeah, we were trying to get we were hoping to get a little bit of a progress, but you really went right to paint it. You didn't really straight to painting it.
Nobody would want to see that. It's a mess. The way my brain works, it's just messy until it looks great. For this one, at least, anyway. Sometimes I go in and kind of do more of a crisp outline.
Well, it looks pretty awesome.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun with it.
You crushed it. I know the fans are all here. They're like losing their minds right now. So I really can't wait, especially since we announced the next movie already, Escape from New York.
We did announce it. When did we announce it? We were just going to announce it.
Oh, you said it earlier in the show.
I know. I said that. Damn it, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
You son of a. No. Yes, Escape from New York. It is Escape from New York. Is our next movie for next month.
I have a question.
Yes, Krystle.
If we wanted to buy just the artwork, just the print, are we allowed to do that? Or do you okay, just curious.
You have to subscribe. You have to subscribe to get the print and the cover. But you can buy just that's the showcase cover. There's a different, we don't have the showcase covers.
We don't have the showcases yet, but this version right here, the 250 print run, this goes on sale as well as the Z-rated. It goes on sale tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So mark your calendar, set those alarms. So these two books will go on sale tomorrow on the web store at 2 p.m. Yeah. But if you want the subscription for the showcase version, that's already live right now.
That's live, and the print. We won't be doing prints of these without the subscription, probably.
You can redeem your voodoo doll.
And your voodoo doll. You got a free Ralph Tedesco voodoo doll. Ralph Tedesco voodoo doll. We'll be working on those, mass producing Ralph Tedesco voodoo dolls. Guys, I want to say goodbye, but like, will we be seeing Brian and Marilyn next month? I'm gonna make you try to commit on the air. You guys are welcome to join, just so you know, if you're not busy. If you don't have any
I told my story about how my family escaped New York and the roaches, so I think it's not far off for us to continue the more New York stories.
I mean,
when are you looking?
We're probably going to be doing it on the 20th of November, most likely.
Okay.
So it's another happy hour Friday, the Friday before Thanksgiving. So just FYI, if you guys are down for that. Trish, you have a voodoo doll of me already. Thank you. And shit out of me. Anything else do we need to cover before we say goodbye to
everyone? I have one thing. Thank you to our special guests, Brian, Marilyn, Krystle Starr, Sun. Is there any projects that you want to tease?
Yes.
And where can people find you online?
I'll let the ladies go first.
Okay, so I don't have anything going on right now. I'm waiting to hear on something, but I'm kind of like not even saying anything about it because every time I do, it just kind of falls apart. So,
it sounds like the LA. That's every project in LA now.
Yeah, pretty much. But you can find me on Instagram, Marilyn Ghigliotti, that CLERKS girl on Twitter, and Marilyn Ghigliotti on Facebook. And I do have a TikTok. I'm not very active on it. I'm very active in watching, but not in creating.
I think you should start doing TikTok dances.
What?
Start doing TikTok dances.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, look at Brian. Brian knows. He knows how to.
Yeah, do the Ed Harris. You got to do the Ed Harris.
You don't do that to Harris. You haven't lived.
We have a legion of
Do it
fans who will
side
follow
by
you on
side.
TikTok right now, Marilyn.
What?
We have fans right now watching this stream that will follow you on TikTok right now.
Hopefully. There I have a few things up, but it's it's hard creating something every day or even once a week or something like that. Especially when you don't have much going on.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. Son, what are you working on? What do you want to tease?
Oh, me? Well, can I tease the New York one or?
That's a Ralph question, Ralph.
Well, how much? Yeah, I mean, yes, but no. Can you do a piece of it?
I don't have it with me.
No, you don't. No.
Okay.
Then no.
Have it?
So if you loved what she did with Creepshow, imagine what she's gonna do with Escape from New York.
I already saw the Escape from
Stay
New York.
tuned.
I just saw it yesterday. The cover. But I
There
don't.
you go.
We have to unveil it at the. We can't unveil it too early.
Yeah.
We
We have to keep the fans wanting.
I should show something else you just did for us, but. Anyway.
Yeah, and I know there's at least like 2 other covers that you did. That's in the back.
I would love that. How many?
Well, is there anything you want to plug otherwise, son? Let me see if I have a cover from you.
I don't know. Just Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. If you're not on there with me, if you're not talking to me, then you're missing out.
That's what I always say.
I did forget something though. It's like because Brian and I and several other cast members from CLERKS, we're going to be doing GalaxyCon on live on November 1st.
Oh, sweet. When's that? What time? Do you know?
4
p.m. East Coast.
Eastern.
GalaxyCon, and then how do you follow? Where do they watch?
GalaxyCon.com, and they can go to their Facebook page, I believe. It'll be streaming there. You could also purchase virtual. You'll get autographed items you can choose from. You can go to their website now, and they have groups of different themes of people from different shows and films are grouped together, and they have certain nights that they're doing their free Q&A, but then you could purchase one-on-ones and stuff like that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Krystle?
Yeah. So I live stream on Twitch 4 days a week for 3 to 4 hours a day. I build all kinds of Lego and fun stuff. Maybe this week we'll make a Ralph voodoo doll. And we can
Yes.
You gotta stop.
Make it so.
I literally wrote that down on my notes. Like that might be happening. So come hang out.
And I literally will have my own show on here in an hour and a half at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The O'Halloran is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Tonight's guest is wrestler, actor, entrepreneur, foodie, Brimstone from the old WWF. So he'll be my guest tonight, 9 o'clock. So please take a look if you can and give us a follow.
Yeah.
Do you know Ralph? Do you know Brim?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised you guys haven't met.
Never met him. Is he a convention guy too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't think I met. No.
And he's had his own comic book as well. I don't know if he still does.
He does. There's 3 books. Yep.
Okay.
Maybe
find out more tonight when you watch 9 o'clock.
Yes, everyone will rate
the O'Halloran.
Real quick, your team, are you the Islanders or the Rangers?
I am a Rangers fan.
Oh, okay. I thought you were an Islanders fan.
I will be talking to a Long Islander fan tonight because Brim is from the island.
Got it. I thought we were talking. I knew we were talking hockey back at our party. And
yes,
Islanders beat the Flyers fairly recently. So
they did.
Sadly.
Brian, how long do you stream for on Twitch typically?
Well, I've been doing my interview show, which goes about an hour to an hour and a half. I'm trying to do it more and more. My good friend Jason Mewes got me hooked on it because he's been doing it for over a year and a half, and he twitches, brick building, and he does video gaming and chatting and stuff. So
I'm sorry, wait, did you do Lego building?
Oh, J Muse is a
Oh wow.
Oh God, Krystle's now gonna
Wait,
lose.
are you serious? Because that's like literally all I do on Twitch. Like,
oh yeah. Well, you go to his stream and you see behind him, he's like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood of a village of all of his stuff. Like right now, he's in the middle of. It's been a couple of days now. He's building the 4-story mansion from. I forget where. I think it's Disney's Haunted Mansion or something. Some giant thing that he's
I
he's
just
been.
did the Haunted Mansion last night.
There you go.
That's
And
dope. Okay,
been
I'll
doing so many Halloween themed Lego sets. It's been
So
really awesome.
many,
Yeah.
so much Legos, so little time, guys. That's my motto.
There you go.
We've got
That's
my
my,
pumpkin. My pumpkin
I'm
and my
always building the Legos. I'm putting them together. It's just I can't stop.
And when you lose a piece, don't worry. Just walk around. You'll eventually
Yeah, I
step.
walk around barefoot.
There it is. Stupid lightsaber.
How old is his daughter now? How old is
Yeah,
his
daughter Logan.
3 or 4?
She's 4,
So do
5, 4, 5.
Not quite Lego yet. Okay.
I think
No,
she's
she
5.
helps out. No, she kicks in from time to time.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, Lego just sent me a ton of sets that I may or may not build, so I might send.
Oh, then you've just made a friend for life with J Muse.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally.
All right.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Cool. I'll have to go find his PO box and send them their way. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to watch you guys on Twitch. I love fellow Twitchers. So cool.
I'm going to show you guys a sneak peek real quick, if I can
Ooh.
find it. Do we have anything else while we're?
I just want to give a couple of shout outs. Thank you again to Mike and Trish. If you're still on the stream, thank you for sending us some glow in the dark candy. You all are amazing. I want to wish one of our VIPs, Kent or Jorge Torres, a very happy birthday. Jorge, you're amazing. I love you. So happy birthday. And again, please follow everyone, all of our special guests, especially Brian's going to be streaming later tonight. And so send some support, some love. And Krystle streams every single night. Son, I haven't seen you stream in a while. Yeah,
Because she's drawing your covers, sir.
It's true.
Wow. Short-term memory loss, my friend.
But my
Good job,
bathroom is
Chris.
right beside my studio, so I have to work on getting the mic to not pick that up.
You guys want to see my artwork real quick, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
the stick.
So this is
Nice.
all right. This isn't
Wow.
all right. This is Sun. This is Sun's artwork. But if you look right in,
It's like you gotta. It's like a hacker movie. Enhance.
I can't enhance it.
Is that your stick figure in the background?
Yeah, it is, Brian.
Yeah. See, I was good at Where's Waldo.
That is
Oh,
my
okay, there it
stick
is.
figure. That is mine.
Oh my god,
so
hilarious.
everybody, why is that hilarious? That's real. That's real talent right there.
You, sir, are the Banksy of Sun's art.
Thank you. Thank you. This is Sun. This is Sun sheet for my new graphic novel coming out, guys. That you should pre-order now. The Courier. Just wanted to plug that because you asked what we have coming out, Chris, and this is what I have coming out.
Yeah.
And I just wrote the first issue, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yay.
All right. Well,
All right.
it's been real. It's been real. It's been real weird, and we'll see you guys next month. I hope.
Yeah, definitely. Escape from New York. So mark your calendars. You're going to watch it. Hopefully, Marilyn and Brian can come back on. And Krystle, we'd love to have you back. And Sun, great work on all the covers. So thank you, everyone, for all your time and hanging out late on a Friday. And hope everyone in the stream had a good time. And please follow Brian on his stream tonight. Follow everyone else. And hop on these covers. These are really awesome.
Talk to you guys soon.